Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Are you tired of hearing about how long it takes to get new drugs to market? We're talking decades, billions of dollars, and a failure rate that would make any sane person weep. But what if I told you that a solution might be brewing, not in a lab filled with test tubes, but in the heart of a supercomputer? And what if that solution, like so many tech promises these days, is tinged with a healthy dose of hype? That's what we're diving into today. LLNL's Big Ideas Lab and their ambitious quest to revolutionize drug discovery with supercomputing and AI. Is it a game changer, or just another shiny object distracting us from the real problems? So here's the news. Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, or LLNL, has this really cool place called the Big Ideas Lab. And they're not just brainstorming over coffee. They're throwing massive computing power at some of the world's toughest problems, and drug discovery is high on that list. They're using advanced AI algorithms, running on some of the fastest supercomputers on the planet, to simulate how drugs interact with our bodies at a molecular level. The goal? To drastically accelerate the drug discovery process, reduce costs, and ultimately, get life-saving medications to patients faster. We're talking about potentially cutting years off the development timeline and saving billions of dollars. Imagine a world where diseases like Alzheimer's or cancer can be treated with personalized drugs designed by AI in a matter of months, not years. That's the promise, but the reality, as always, is a bit more complicated. Think of it like this. They're trying to predict the future, but instead of using a crystal ball, they're using millions of lines of code and processors that could power a small city. The stakes are incredibly high. Did you know that the average cost of bringing a new drug to market is estimated to be over $2.6 billion? That's an insane amount of money, and it's a major reason why so many promising treatments never make it to patients. Now, let's get a little more technical. LLNL is leveraging the power of supercomputers like Sierra and now El Capitan, which is projected to be one of the world's fastest. These machines allow them to run incredibly complex simulations of molecular interactions. They're essentially building virtual models of proteins and drug molecules, and then simulating how they interact in different scenarios. This involves a lot of heavy lifting, including techniques like molecular dynamics simulations, which track the movement of atoms and molecules over time, quantum mechanics calculations, which provide a more accurate description of the electronic structure of molecules, and machine learning algorithms, which can identify patterns and predict outcomes based on vast amounts of data. One key concept here is in silico drug discovery. This means conducting experiments and simulations on computers instead of in traditional labs. This approach can significantly reduce the time and cost associated with drug development by identifying promising drug candidates early on and eliminating those that are unlikely to succeed. They are also employing high-throughput screening, HTS, but in a virtual environment. They can screen millions of potential drug candidates against a target protein in a fraction of the time it would take in a wet lab. Think of it as a massive, automated experiment running at warp speed. And finally, they are using structure-based drug design, which involves using the 3D structure of a target protein to design drug molecules that will bind to it with high affinity and specificity. This requires detailed knowledge of the protein structure, which can be obtained through X-ray crystallography or cryo-electron microscopy. All of this requires massive computational power, which is where supercomputers come in. This research builds upon decades of work in computational chemistry and biophysics. For example, a seminal paper by Karplus, Levitt, and Warshall, who won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 2013, laid the foundation for many of the molecular dynamics simulation techniques used today. Their work demonstrated the power of using computers to understand and predict the behavior of complex chemical systems. So, LLNL is standing on the shoulders of giants, but they're also pushing the boundaries of what's possible with supercomputing and AI. But it's not just about brute force computing power. The real magic happens when you combine supercomputing with AI. AI algorithms, particularly machine learning models, can analyze vast amounts of data from simulations and experiments to identify patterns and predict which drug candidates are most likely to be effective. They can also help to optimize the design of drug molecules, making them more potent and selective. Imagine training an AI model on millions of data points from previous drug discovery efforts. The model can then learn to identify the key characteristics of successful drugs and use that knowledge to predict the effectiveness of new candidates. It's like having a highly experienced drug discovery expert working 24/7, analyzing data and making predictions. But here's where things get interesting. AI is only as good as the data it's trained on. If the data is biased or incomplete, the AI will make biased or inaccurate predictions. And in the field of drug discovery, there's a lot of uncertainty and complexity. Biological systems are incredibly complex, and it's difficult to capture all of the relevant information in a computer model. This means that AI-driven drug discovery is not a silver bullet. It's a powerful tool, but it needs to be used carefully and in conjunction with traditional experimental methods. It's not about replacing scientists, but augmenting their abilities. Think of it as giving them superpowers. Okay, so let's play devil's advocate for a moment. Not everyone is convinced that supercomputing and AI are going to revolutionize drug discovery. Some experts argue that the complexity of biological systems is simply too great to be accurately modeled by computers. They point out that many promising drug candidates identified through in silico methods have failed in clinical trials, suggesting that the models are not capturing all of the relevant factors. One common criticism is that the models often oversimplify the interactions between drugs and their targets. They may not account for factors such as the immune system response, drug metabolism, or individual genetic variations. Another concern is that the data used to train AI models may be biased towards certain types of drugs or diseases, leading to skewed predictions. And let's be honest, there's a lot of hype around AI in general, and it's easy to get caught up in the excitement and overestimate its capabilities. There's also the issue of validation. How do you know that the predictions made by a supercomputer are actually accurate? You need to validate them with real-world experiments, which can be time-consuming and expensive. So, while supercomputing and AI hold tremendous promise, it's important to approach them with a healthy dose of skepticism and to recognize their limitations. The claim that AI can perfectly predict drug efficacy is often met with resistance. The counterargument is that biological systems are too complex and that current models lack the necessary granularity to capture all the relevant interactions. However, proponents of AI argue that even imperfect models can significantly improve the efficiency of drug discovery by narrowing down the list of potential candidates, saving time and resources. A verifiable method to test these claims is to compare the success rates of drugs discovered using AI-driven methods versus traditional methods. If AI-driven methods consistently yield higher success rates in clinical trials, then this would provide strong evidence that the technology is indeed effective. It's about incremental improvements, not overnight miracles. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. Supercomputing and AI are not going to magically solve all of our drug discovery problems, but they can be valuable tools in the fight against disease. It's all about finding the right balance between computation and experimentation. On the other hand, there are plenty of reasons to be optimistic about the future of drug discovery with supercomputing and AI. As computing power continues to increase and AI algorithms become more sophisticated, the accuracy and reliability of these methods will only improve. We're already seeing some promising results. For example, researchers are using AI to identify new drug targets, to predict the toxicity of drug candidates, and to personalize drug treatments based on individual patient characteristics. The ability to simulate molecular interactions at an unprecedented level of detail is opening up new possibilities for drug design. We can now design drugs that are more potent, more selective, and less likely to cause side effects. And as we gather more data from experiments and clinical trials, we can continue to refine our AI models and make them even more accurate. The key is to embrace a collaborative approach, bringing together experts from diverse fields such as computer science, biology, chemistry, and medicine. By combining their knowledge and expertise, we can unlock the full potential of supercomputing and AI to revolutionize drug discovery. There's a growing sense of hope that AI can democratize drug discovery, making it more accessible to researchers and organizations around the world. Imagine a future where anyone with access to a computer can contribute to the search for new cures. The belief that AI can significantly reduce the cost and timeline of drug development is challenged by the fact that clinical trials still require significant investment and time. However, optimists argue that AI can streamline the process by identifying the most promising candidates early on, reducing the number of failed trials, and ultimately saving money. A way to validate this claim is to track the overall cost and time required to bring a drug to market using AI-driven methods versus traditional methods. If there is a significant reduction in both, then this would support the argument that AI can indeed make drug discovery more efficient. It's about empowering researchers with new tools to tackle some of the world's most pressing health challenges. Now, before we get too carried away with the utopian vision, let's not forget about the ethical considerations. As with any powerful technology, there are potential risks associated with using supercomputing and AI for drug discovery. One concern is the potential for bias in AI algorithms. If the data used to train the algorithms is biased, the resulting predictions may also be biased, leading to disparities in access to treatment. For example, if the data is primarily based on studies of one particular ethnic group, the resulting drugs may not be as effective for other groups. Another concern is the potential for misuse of the technology. Supercomputing and AI could be used to design drugs that are harmful or to develop bioweapons. It's important to have safeguards in place to prevent these types of abuses. And finally, there's the question of accountability. If an AI algorithm makes a mistake and a patient is harmed, who is responsible? Is it the programmer, the researcher, or the hospital? These are complex ethical questions that need to be addressed as we continue to develop and deploy these technologies. It's crucial to have open and transparent discussions about the ethical implications of supercomputing and AI in drug discovery. We need to involve ethicists, policymakers, and the public in these discussions to ensure that these technologies are used responsibly and for the benefit of all. We need to be vigilant and proactive in addressing these ethical challenges to ensure that supercomputing and AI are used to create a healthier and more equitable future for everyone. It's not just about technological innovation. It's about responsible innovation. So what does the future hold for drug discovery with supercomputing and AI? I think we're on the cusp of a major transformation. Over the next few years, we're likely to see even more powerful supercomputers and more sophisticated AI algorithms being applied to drug discovery. This will lead to faster development times, lower costs, and more effective treatments. We're also likely to see a shift towards personalized medicine, where drugs are tailored to individual patients based on their genetic makeup and other factors. AI will play a crucial role in this by analyzing vast amounts of patient data to identify the most effective treatments for each individual. Imagine a world where you can get a personalized drug designed specifically for your unique needs and genetic profile. That's the promise of personalized medicine, and supercomputing and AI are making it a reality. But it's not just about developing new drugs. Supercomputing and AI can also be used to repurpose existing drugs, finding new uses for medications that are already on the market. This can be a much faster and cheaper way to find new treatments for diseases. And finally, supercomputing and AI can help us to better understand the underlying causes of disease, which can lead to the development of even more effective treatments in the long run. It's a long and complex journey, but I'm optimistic that supercomputing and AI will play a major role in shaping the future of medicine. The ability to accurately predict drug interactions with the human body is often cited as a key advantage of supercomputing, but challenges remain in accurately modeling complex biological processes. However, advancements in computational power and simulation techniques are constantly improving the accuracy of these models. It's a race against complexity. We can expect to see even more rapid progress in the years to come, as researchers continue to push the boundaries of what's possible with these technologies. So what do you think? Is LLNL's Big Ideas Lab on the right track? Are supercomputing and AI the key to unlocking the secrets of drug discovery? Or is it all just hype? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear what you think about this topic. And if you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more updates on the latest advancements in science and technology. Also, be sure to share this video with your friends and colleagues who might be interested in this topic. The more people who are aware of the potential of supercomputing and AI, the better. And finally, if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please let me know in the comments. I'm always looking for new ideas and ways to improve the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. Your engagement is what keeps this channel going, so thank you for your support. Let's continue this conversation in the comments below. I'm eager to hear your perspectives and insights. What are your biggest concerns about AI and drug discovery? What are you most excited about? Let's discuss. This isn't just about technology. It's about our future health and well-being. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.